that she shot him upstairs in the loft. She wrapped him in plastic and drug him out and buried him.
She's explaining to you that she just shot her son.
Yeah, and I'm standing there sick to my stomach.
On May 16th, 2015, what began as an ordinary day spiraled into a haunting mystery when a 29-year-old Jacob Millison disappeared without a trace. Just a day earlier, he had shared a chilling secret with friends, a revelation that now feels like a grim foreshadowing.
Literally days before he went missing, told us if anything ever happened with his family.
2 years later, on July 17th, 2017, a shocking confession came from Jacob's mother, Deborah Rudabaugh.
My mind goes when I pulled the trigger. I mean, I'll never forget waking up and having him stand over me with a pillow in his hands. I mean, that is so vivid. And then he didn't smile, he didn't scowl, he didn't do anything. He just put it down and walked out. It's like I hit a breaking point.
However, there were dark secrets that this family was trying desperately to conceal. With each member holding a piece of the truth, the question remained: who was hiding the reality and who was ready to confess?
She just said she shot him, and she wanted to make sure he was dead.
I did not help her fucking drive shit out of the freaking house. Because her story is not truthful either about how she got out of the house. We know that. We know that version is not how it happened. She had help getting the body out of the house, and there's only two people there, you and Dave.
I noticed he seemed a lot more distant and more angry about things, and then he always just had this, right ever since, he always had this, like, I don't know, deep grudge against me, it seemed, and staff, and then come to find out he wanted to kill us. So it was terrified of me.
Watch as a gripping tale of sibling rivalry and greed unravels into a web of deceit and murder. The 29-year-old Jacob Millison, also known as Jake, vanished on May 16, 2017, in Gunnison, Colorado, where he lived on a ranch owned by his mother, Deborah Rudabaugh, alongside his sister, Stephanie Jackson, and her husband, David Jackson. After his disappearance, Jacob's friends went to check with Deborah, where she claimed Jacob had gone on a trip. However, the investigation revealed that no trips had been planned, confirming that Jacob was missing. Determined to find him, his friends persisted in urging the authorities, filing multiple missing person reports. It wasn't until August 2015 that Deborah herself filed a missing person report for her son, alleging that Jacob abused cocaine and steroids and used to be associated with a bad crowd. She also told law enforcement that Jacob had cut off contact with his family and was living elsewhere. Jacob's friends created a Facebook group, Where is Jake Millison, to keep attention on his disappearance. On October 19, 2015, they shared photos of David Jackson riding Jake's prized Harley-Davidson Sportster and alleged he was selling Jake's other bikes. This behavior raised suspicions, as it contradicted Deborah's claim that Jake had simply gone on a trip. Meanwhile, in 2016, Deborah was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, adding another layer of complexity to the case. The consistent pressure from Jacob's friends made investigators secure a search warrant for the ranch, executed in July 2017. Jacob's body was discovered near a corral at the ranch. Detectives soon turned their attention to interviews with Stephanie and David Jackson. Stephanie was the first to be brought in for interrogation.
Because I'm coming in this really blind. What's going on? Tell me what happened here.
Okay, from what they told me yesterday, I'm a little bit freaked out. They told me my mom confessed to killing my brother.
Okay. Your brother Jacob?
Jake, yes.
Okay. He goes by Jake?
We all called him Jake, but I think he preferred Jacob.
So if we use either name, you're going to
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm probably going to use Jake more often.
All right, fair enough. All right. So then, what do you know about that?
I didn't know anything until yesterday. I was kind of blindsided because everything I thought was that he had left. She had told me he had left, and then he just didn't come back.
He just didn't come back?
No.
Okay. How did that come about?
She had said, and this is 2 years ago,
okay,
that he had went to go to Reno, Nevada to do a martial arts festival thing. He was really into mixed martial arts.
Stephanie was first questioned about her brother's disappearance, where she feigned ignorance and expressed remorse in an attempt to convince detectives of her innocence. She claimed she knew nothing about his death until the day before, while detectives had a specific incident they wanted to address with David. In January 2013, during an argument, David allegedly pulled a firearm on Jacob, leading Jacob to seek a restraining order against him. Intrigued by the incident, the detectives questioned David, hoping to uncover some answers.
Well, one day I was coming out the house and he was coming down the driveway, and I was mad about the snow being piled up because I got my truck stuck that day, and it took me 3 hours to dig it out because I just tried to ram the snow and just go over it. Well, it was a block of freaking ice. It pretty well stopped. So I was quite pissed about it, I will say. So I wanted to have words with him. Why the hell do you keep doing this to me? You need to stop. I'm trying to help out here as much as anybody else. And, well, he freaked out, started stripping his clothes down because winter, we have a bunch of layers on. He was ready to come at me hard. He was running at me, stripping his stuff. And at the time, I was leery about it because he was in a mixed martial arts. I knew he had a concealed weapons permit, etc. So I would have carried a gun. Not necessarily for him, just because I am a very firm Second Amendment believer.
Okay.
But I was stripping down, and I was going to pull my gun out, put it down on my clothes and stuff, and all the snow and shit. Well, as soon as I got my coveralls down around my legs, so I'm like a kid with his pants down, right? Getting ready to put that down because as soon as I lean over and pull my boots and stuff off, it would just fall out because the holster I was using was kind of loose, and if you lean over, it just fall out.
Gotcha.
Which is slightly unsafe. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to do that, and he just stopped, dead in his tracks, as he obviously saw the weapon, and started yelling and screaming, just picking up his clothes and wandering off. And then the next morning, sheriff comes out and serves a summons to fair to court and whatnot for a restraining order.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I left, and I didn't go back on the ranch since for a long time. I think I stayed in town at a friend's for the time being.
David claimed he moved out of the ranch out of fear of Jacob. However, Jacob's ongoing conflicts with Stephanie and David often escalated into ugly confrontations. By admitting these disputes weren't one-sided, David inadvertently positioned himself as an active suspect.
And basically, we got out to the ranch, and I was always worried about Jake coming back, and I always carried a gun just in case, and probably for a good 3 months, I probably carried a gun. There was always a gun next with staff just in case and all that. And the barrel and
So you carried a gun, you were scared of them?
Oh yeah. I not necessarily, I guess I was kind of scared of him. I was fearful of him retaliating. Because if he were to see us, because we had that fight, and he's very angry, and almost seems like his dad a bit, and just holds a grudge really deep. And it. I don't like you. I'm going to hold grudge for my life. That's how bad it is. And I don't know, his rage was just so intense. But I always felt threatened with him.
It was deeply ironic that Jacob was the one found dead on the ranch, despite David's claims of constantly feeling threatened by Jacob's anger.
I came up with so many random conclusions. I was like, who knows, maybe Mom did kill him and married him out back somewhere. Which blew my mind that actually did happen.
So why would you think that? About it?
I don't know, because he was such a bad person. And I knew a little bit, because she never informed us of how bad it really was until last night. But I did know he would yell at her and scream at her, even with his friends around. He'd yell at her and scream at her and just was really violent toward her. And it was, I forgot where I was going. It was, sorry, my memory. Again, that's what happens with me. He just kind of blanks out. Or
You're just talking about how violent
it was.
Yeah, and why you kind of thought that maybe you had that thought about your mom.
Oh, yeah, that's where it was. Sorry, see? So, he was very violent, and I always thought, she was always a scary lady, especially when I first met Steph. She was that tough ranch woman, you don't f*** her. I noticed he seemed a lot more distant and more angry about things, and then he always just had this, ever since, he always had this, I don't know, deep grudge against me, it seemed, and Steph, and then come to find out he wanted to kill us. Which terrified me.
Before yesterday, did anyone ever tell you about what had actually happened?
No.
Okay.
I had no idea until yesterday what happened.
On the same day the police secured a search warrant to investigate the ranch, Deborah confessed to killing Jacob. All the while, Stephanie's account aligned with David's regarding the reasons and manner in which Deborah killed Jacob.
My best friend.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be around that. That's horrible.
Right.
But I lost it. Because I don't even, I don't even know how do you do that to your kids?
Right.
Sorry.
Are you alright?
I just can't believe this is happening. I talked to her last night, and she told me everything, and I was just like, what are you talking about? How does this even happen? I mean, she told me that he was, abusing her. And I was like, well, why didn't you say something? I knew they didn't get along. I really did, and I knew he yelled at her and stuff and get mad, but I didn't know about the physical abuse. I just wish she could have done it differently. I don't know. She would have felt like law enforcement could have done something about it.
So what did she tell you?
She told me that he, put her in a chokehold multiple times and made her pass out, threatened her. He sat on her and said you could die at any time. And it's the stuff that happened, over time, I guess. And she said she woke up one night and he had a pillow over her, like he was gonna smother her. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wish she would have felt like she could come to somebody.
While Stephanie appeared distraught by the revelation, David seemed far more convinced that Deborah was capable of such an act against her son. This contrasting perspective stood out to the detectives as a significant detail. Deborah also provided a similar explanation for why she killed her son.
Jake was pressuring me to put everything in his name, but he was starting to do things to make it so he was the only one around. And he was literally threatening me. And I mean, I'll never forget waking up and having him stand over me with a pillow in his hands. I mean, that is so vivid. And then he didn't smile, he didn't scowl, he didn't do anything. He just put it down and walked out. But he was standing over me while I was asleep with a pillow in his hands. I mean, no, that's not abuse. He didn't break bones. He didn't make bruises on me. He didn't do that. But it was a total threat the entire time.
As David prepared to reveal the shocking details, a twisted truth was about to come to light.
Okay. And then, of course, Monday we show up, we do a search warrant, we talk to you, we talk to Stephanie, we talk to your mother-in-law. And I'm confident that after Monday, you and Stephanie and your mother-in-law have talked.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of blown away she was still there, because everything that I ended up hearing after the fact. And then she ended up telling us pretty much everything. A hell of a lot more than I ever wanted to know. And it's been rough being around there.
What did she tell you?
She told me that she did it. She didn't feel safe and started telling us actually how bad it was, because I didn't know anything about what he was actually doing to her. Told us that he was choking her out to the point of passing out, smothering her pillows, just pushing her, sitting on her, all that stuff, and threatening to kill my wife, my son, and I. He was very violent about name ever since he was born, to the point of punching walls and stuff, she said, breaking things, I'm not sure what. And she had enough of him shocking. Wrapped him up in plastic and buried it somewhere.
Okay, now, was she not more specific in terms of what she did and how she did it?
Not extremely. She didn't really explain how. She just kind of said that she did it and that she did everything herself, and wanted to wait till everybody was not on the ranch, so nobody had anything to do with it. Nobody would ever know. She intended to leave a note in her safe deposit box for us to find after she passed. And then she told us her cancer was still there when she said it wasn't on her last scan. And it's still throughout her body and everything, I guess.
Convinced that David and Stephanie were withholding critical information, they decided to seek the truth through a polygraph test. Watch as we reveal the shocking results of the polygraph test.
And please, I'm going to ask you again to be very specific as to what your mother-in-law told you about Jake's death?
We walked in, said we're here, and she's like, she was sitting there in her chair, and been an interesting day. I'm sure you guys know what happened. We're like, yeah, sort of. We're kind of, what's going on? And she just started telling us, yeah, I told him I did it. I killed him, and I'm trying to remember how the exact conversation went. This is how bad my short-term memory is. It's literally a day or two. She said that she shot him upstairs in the middle section of the loft. She wrapped him in plastic and drug him out and buried him. And why she did it, explaining that he was doing all the things that he was doing to her, and that's the reason why she felt she needed to do it.
Okay, and so how did she get him out of the house?
I have no idea.
She didn't tell you how she get him out of the
tell
house?
me that. Something I've always wondered. Not sure I care to know.
Where did she shoot him?
Say again?
Where did she shoot him?
Upstairs in the lodge.
No, I mean, where? On him?
I have no idea.
And where did she bury him?
She said in the back corral. I'm not sure where at.
Did she say what gun or was you?
She told us she used the Chrome 357 Magnum.
I'm sorry, just the which?
The stainless steel 357 Magnum.
And are you familiar with this Chrome 357 Magnum?
I think I remember seeing it once.
Where did you see it?
Under her bed. She was actually grabbing me a revolver for Jeremy to use around the ranch because we kept having critter issues.
What kind of critter issues?
Raccoons and skunks.
Okay. She tells you she takes her 357 Magnum. She shoots him upstairs in the loft.
Upstairs in the loft somewhere.
And what was the deal with the plastic?
I don't know. She said she wrapped him up in plastic.
Okay. And if he's upstairs, she didn't explain how she...
She didn't explain how she got him down or out or whatever.
Okay. What, you didn't, I mean, you're sitting there having this conversation with your mother-in-law, and she's explaining to you that she just shot her son.
Yeah, and I'm standing there sick to my stomach.
Okay.
I'm standing in front of somebody that just killed somebody else, and they're explaining how they did it, sort of. Or not how they did it, but that they did it. And I kind of wanted to puke. I still kind of do. I almost puked this morning just thinking about it.
Okay.
Police had serious doubts about key elements of Deborah's story, particularly her claim of disposing of the body. Weighing less than 90 pounds, her petite frame made it nearly impossible for her to have moved Jacob's 185 to 190 pound body without any assistance, raising further suspicion about her account.
Okay. Now, in your words, you said that you were even concerned about this because she's so small. You're wondering how she got Jake out of the house to even bury him. I mean, go into your thought about that. What's going on there, man?
I don't know. It's just because she was, I guess she wasn't as weak as she is now. But in my mind, she still looked kind of weak. But if there's a way, I'm sure she is a very, very smart lady. And I'm sure she had figured it out. Either she dropped him off the balcony or whatever. I don't know. I have no freaking idea. But that's the only thing that kind of had me curious. But, I mean, then I started, like, okay, if I was small, I'm trying to get this, he was a pretty husky dude. He wasn't little. How would you do it? And I was like, well, I guess there's posts everywhere. Because, I mean, the whole damn thing's made out of logs.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's plenty of rope, and she's smart enough. I'm sure she could make a pulley system or something, wrap a rope around a log, I'm guessing.
Okay.
When detectives questioned Deborah, her account prompted further inquiries, hinting at secrets still waiting to be uncovered.
Okay, there's no way you drug that body through the house. We've showed the photos to a mechanical engineer. We've showed the damage to your house.
I can do it right now. It'd be
No,
slow.
I'm not saying
but I
that
could do it.
It couldn't have been done. I'm saying you didn't do it that way because there's not any damage consistent with the back door, the other door that's consistent with pulling a 170-pound body through the house and the tension it would create. Yeah,
I could do it today.
But you're not going to
pull it clear through.
Right, but you didn't do it back then because there's no damage for it. That's what I'm saying.
I made sure I didn't damage things. I had
There's no
towels
way
and
that
stuff.
big body made those curves in that thing to get out that back door.
I easily did that.
But you would do it. You would say this just to protect Deb.
No.
I mean Steph. You're
No.
going to protect her, right?
No.
To the end.
No. I did it, and it'd take me a lot longer today, and I'd have to get the thing fixed, but I could take a 200-pound body today and drag it down and do it slower and weaker and a lot longer to do it. But I could do it today and still do no damage.
The detectives were now ready to intensify the interrogation to elicit a confession regarding David's involvement.
David, do you understand the severity of this situation?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand and know the penalty for first-degree murder?
Yes, I do.
And what do you know about first-degree murder?
You kill somebody, you pay the price.
Okay, but what is the price?
You go to prison or death sentence or whatever. I don't know.
You could spend the rest of your life in prison, or you could actually be put to death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's kind of the world that we have right now.
Yeah.
This first-degree murder. So what I want to emphasize to you is right now, the most important time of your life up to this point. And the most important thing that you can do right now is to be honest, because you haven't been honest.
Yes, I have.
Now, let me finish. You know, and you knew when you came in here last night to take a polygraph test, the difference between telling the truth and not telling the truth, being honest and not being honest. And you knew when you came in there last night, when you were asked certain questions, whether you were going to pass that test or fail that test, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you pass that test?
I have no idea. I hope I did.
What do you mean you hope you did? You either know you did or you know you didn't.
I know I did.
You knew you passed the test. So everything that you have told us and everything that you told the examiner last night was the truth.
Yes.
Okay, then why did you so severely not pass the test?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I should have passed it because I didn't do anything.
You remember last night when you were talking to the examiner and you said that your mother-in-law explained to you how she had killed Jake, and she went through step by step how she had killed him, and you made the comment that surprisingly that's exactly how you would have done it?
Not like that. That's how I would have imagined it to have done in her shoes. It's not how I would have done it, or by any means. It would have been pure self-defense in my case. I would have went straight to the police afterward.
What do you mean it would have been pure self-defense?
If I were to have killed this guy, it would have been because of him attacking me.
Okay.
But I didn't kill this guy.
Where's your 45?
It's at the ranch in my truck. I told you all when you were over there. Told them.
David and Stephanie Jackson both failed their polygraph tests. Stephanie later admitted to discovering Jacob's body in the manure pile months earlier, further raising the detective's suspicions about what else she might be hiding.
So the whole purpose of us bringing you back here today was you made that admission that you guys found the body and chose not to report it, right? And so we didn't know whether or not that admission would have made a difference, right? That you're telling us the whole truth, right? Truth, nothing but the truth will help you God, right? Right. That's why we brought you back in for a second calling, right? Because we still don't know, even though you made that admission of finding him 2 months before, right? That still doesn't clear you of shooting him or helping her earlier, right? You just gave us the story about finding the body 2 months before, right? I understand. So we bring you back in, and you should pass the test because she didn't shoot him, and you didn't help her sooner. Then you should have been fine on this test. Yes, I didn't shoot him, and I didn't help her. And I don't know. And I think part of the problem is, I think you just know what you did. And you don't do anything. You know something about those few days of when you lost it. And see, here's the thing. The fact that you found, you guys found him 2 months earlier and you helped her cover it up at that point, right? There's no difference in you helping her the day after. I'm not saying you knew she was going to do it, but your mom would have come to you for help. Only you, not Dave. I believe she wouldn't go to Dave. She would come to you for help. She didn't. And so the hair and the prints on the tape are not going to come back to you. It's highly unlikely, because I did not help her. I did not help her. The only thing I helped her do that I did not intend, I didn't know I was helping her do anything with the mattress. I did not help her fucking drive shit out of the freaking house. Because her story is not truthful either about how she got out of the house. We know that. We know that version is not how it happened. She had help getting the body out of the house. And there's only 2 people there. You and Dave. And no, you didn't live there. But you were going out there unfortunately. Right. You were the one that could go there. Right? Dave never really felt he could go there. Right. And Dave's not blood. I mean, you're not going to trust somebody like Dave knowing that, oh crap, my mom just killed somebody. And I helped stick him in a manure pile. I didn't. I swear, on my childhood, I did not. You know, that's the sign that people, when people do that, start swearing on things. Sorry, but it's not a truthful statement. I did not help her.
While detectives pressed Stephanie to admit her role in the murder, David remained steadfast in his denial.
But when you saw the body, and you knew it was a body, right?
I knew it was a body. I didn't know what kind of body.
No, come on.
I didn't know what kind of body, but I really had a strong suspicion. I knew what it was.
David, you knew then, because when we showed up out there with the backhoe and the trailer, you dropped your head, and your buddy dropped his head. So you and your buddy both knew that the body was in the manure pile.
Yeah, we were pretty sure.
No, come on. You knew it was Jake in the manure pile.
We were pretty dang sure of it.
And Mom told you to move the body out of the manure pile and put it in?
No. I never even touched it. Closest I ever got to it was about 10 feet. That was it. I did not move it or anything. I did nothing. I just finished covering, putting the manure there where I wanted to, and to clean out the corral, and that was where I left it.
This is the point where David begins recounting the shocking details he claims to have witnessed.
And did you go talk to Mom?
I did not. Stephanie did.
So was Stephanie with you when you saw the body in the manure pile?
She was after I first saw it.
Okay, and so Stephanie saw it. No, wait a minute. You and Stephanie knew that that's Jake in the manure pile.
We didn't know for sure. We had a very, very, very strong.
How often do you go up and see a body in the manure? Who's missing out there? Who's missing out there?
Jake.
Is there anybody else missing out there?
Not that I know of.
Then whose body would have been in the manure pile?
The detectives concluded their interrogation of David without securing a confession and turned their attention to Stephanie for answers.
You have another issue. There's something between you, your mom, and Jacob prior to this whole bones being exposed incident. And that's why you're not passing this test. And there's really nothing that you can say now that hurts your mom anymore. I mean, she's confessed to shooting someone in their sleep. Right? She's willing to fall on that sword, take responsibility, go to prison. What she's not willing is to give you up. And we know you're involved. But you need to be the one to tell us, just like we said before. If you knew there was problems between them, and you knew your mom was planning it, that's a lot different than actually pulling the trigger. And at this point, we still don't know that you didn't pull the trigger. And that's because you know what everybody's thinking, right? Everybody. You know what the thought is? Is that the only that you did it, and your mom is falling on her sword for you because she's got cancer and is going to die. And that she had nothing to do with it, right? But she's willing to sacrifice for you. What do you say to those people? That they're wrong? You wouldn't have killed him to defend your mom?
Only if I saw it happening. And I never did. And I wouldn't have just shot him in his bed. I never saw him beating her up.
Yeah, but that's not the anguish she was having with him. the anger she was having with him with Golden Ranch. The fact that he was pushing her to fill out some paperwork. He was pushing her to put the ranch in his name. Knowing full well that as soon as he got the ranch, he was going to sell that ranch. I was like, we all know that.
Authorities also obtained Stephanie's cell phone records, revealing that she sent a text message at 3:17 a.m. on May 16, 2015, which read, "It's time to play." What made it more intriguing was that she deleted the text just 6 minutes later. 2 days after Jacob's murder, on May 18, 2015, Stephanie posted a Facebook message that read, "Have you ever been woken up with such awesome news that you wanted to run outside screaming?" The callousness of her words left many horrified. How could someone celebrate so soon after taking a brother's life, and to top it all off, rejoice about it online?
There's still something that you're not telling us. It's not just me. Everybody believes you were involved. It's unfortunate for them. No, it's unfortunate for you. Because right now, you failed the polygraph regarding whether you shot him or whether you helped move that body out of the house. She never said anything to me about it. And I did not help her drag him out of the house. So your DNA should be on the gun. I don't think so. I don't think I shot her. Because therein lies the out. A person who had nothing to do with this would have said, I've never shot that gun. But I don't know. My friends won't go beyond that gun. I like lawyers. You don't seem to want to talk to me.
The detectives were convinced that Stephanie was withholding information, so they returned to question Deborah about Stephanie's specific role in the murder.
Jeremy's got a couple questions for you about the phone call I received from Steph.
Oh. Well, that was quick.
You mean besides wanting me dead, why don't I commit and get it all over with?
That's what she said?
Yeah.
Well, I'm confused. What was this?
She said, I'm going to jail because of you. I want you to curl up and die. Why don't you commit suicide before? And that sort of thing.
Okay, we just talked to Deb. And this is probably the last time we're going to talk to you about this issue, right? Because everybody's got to move on, and we can't spend forever trying to figure this caper out, right?
Yeah.
So what Deb told us was
Stephanie.
sorry. What Steph told us is that you told her, I'm going to shoot that, and she did nothing to stop you. What is it about that?
I never said that. I never said that.
Ever?
Maybe. No, I never said that. That's something she came up with after she found out about everything. I never, ever said that. And she was not even here at the time when I did it.
Deb, are you just trying to protect her?
No, she knew nothing about it.
Then why did she fail the test that said, did you shoot Jake or did you move the body?
She never moved the body. I did all that. She never shot him, but she is of a personality that would never be able to pass a lie detector test, no matter what you ask her.
And why are you saying that?
Because she is a personality like her father's, and there's no way he would ever pass a lie detector test either. He never did.
In March 2018, Deborah Rudabaugh, Stephanie Jackson, and David Jackson were arrested for the murder of Jacob Millison. Deborah pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 40 years in prison in May 2019. However, while still in custody, she passed away in November 2019 at the age of 70.
I would like to start out by saying thank you for the opportunity to speak. What I am guilty of is believing the stories and lies my mother told everyone for over 2 years. I would also like to apologize to my father, my grandparents, my extended family, and anyone else who's been affected by my mother's heinous actions.
Stephanie pleaded guilty to a single count of tampering with a deceased human body. In November 2019, she received the maximum sentence of 24 years in prison. Now 39, she's listed in Colorado Department of Corrections records as eligible for parole in August 2028. David also pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He became eligible for parole in June 2023 and is listed in Colorado Department of Corrections records as paroled. The tragic case of Jacob Millison highlights how family dynamics can spiral into disaster. Deborah, Stephanie, and David's actions have profoundly impacted the community, but did they truly receive the punishment they deserved? We and the community mourn the loss of Jacob, whose life was taken away too soon. But his spirit lives on in the hearts of those he touched and by those who truly loved him. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more such content.